Oh, here we go. So, um, we are, I'm trying something totally new and crazy. I am going to Zoom ah, and Facebook Live. So, what we're doing today is a Yin Yoga class. This session is specifically for your myofascial system. Your myofascial system is good for your joints. So we're talking about connective tissues. This will help your joints. This will increase your mobility. This will make you feel better. So without any further ado, how about we get started? And for all you guys that are on Facebook, come check me out over on Zoom. It's up there on my deal. Uh, but either one is great. I got both of them going. So you might need a block, and you might need a blanket, and you might need a bolster. Okay? But let's see. So how I like to start is just grab your breath. Clear your mind. Get everything out of there. This yoga today is to elevate your mood. It's to be thankful for the things that we have. It's the beginning of a lunar cycle. We just had our last new moon of the winter. That means winter must be almost over, right? So, how about we take our right, if you're going to mirror me, it looks like it's going to be your left arm. Put your other arm down on the ground, and let's just take a nice side bend. Now, I have really tight hip flexors, so I can feel myself trying to be pulled back. We don't want to be pulled back. We want that nice side bend. And I can't put my arm on the floor like some people, but some people can. So you should be feeling a beautiful stretch right here. Take a breath, come back to the middle, and now let's do our other side. You see, like it's trying to pull me over. Straighten that arm. Oh, and just hinge at the hips. And if you feel your balance getting out of line, or it's trying to pull you back or pull you forward, if you just notice this side tried to pull me forward, my other side tried to pull me back. So, oh yeah. Take a breath, come in. Now let's take a nice little twist to the left. Look over your shoulder. Now let's take a nice little twist to the right. Look over your shoulder. Now let's walk it out just a little bit. Just do a nice little forward fold. Now this is where your block or your pillow or whatever you have is handy. If you can't get all the way down. Just let your head hang. We want to release that tension. This has been a long week, hasn't it? And things have just not been good for everyone because the weather come back up. breathe in. Let's come over to your left. And just let your head hang. You might want to feel this. Probably feels it in your lower back a little. Walk it over to your other side. Walk it back over to the middle. Let's come up. And once we come up, why don't we now come into tabletop position. So with tabletop position, let's make sure that our feet are nice and relaxed. They are hip width apart. Our shoulders are shoulder width apart. And the way that you know this is if your hands fit between your thighs. If your hands fit between your thighs, as fists, you are hip width apart and shoulder width apart. Make sure your fingers are splayed and the pads of your fingers are touching the ground. Make sure you're not hypermobile. Make sure you have shoulder over elbow, over wrist, so there's no pain. If you're feeling pain in your wrist, maybe come back a little bit. But we definitely don't want you to feel any pain. So now what do I want you to do? We're going to do a cat position. And this is giving you flexion of your spine, okay? So this is a spinal flexion. So I want you to take a breath in. And I really want you to pull your navel up to your spine, your belly button. Now on the next exhale, I want you to exhale. And I really want you to put those sits bones up in the air. Lift your head up. Feel that stretch along your spine. Now, this is spinal extension. This is like a back bend. So let's do 3 or 4 more of those. I'm not going to count. We're just going to inhale and exhale, okay? So inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. All right, how did that feel? So, let's come into a kneeling position. We're gonna do 1 sun salutation A, and we're gonna take it really slow, so that way we can learn together. I did do a sun salutation a few days ago on Zoom, but I didn't think about Facebook Live in it, so we're going to do that too. So we'll walk through the positions, and then we're going to get right into this beautiful Yin Yoga. So what I want you to do is come to the top of your mat or your floor. You don't have to have a mat to do yoga. You don't have to have anything to do yoga. All you have to have is yourself. That's all you really need. So let's come up to the top of our mat, and we're going to come into something called, and I'm going to face you so you can see me, called mountain pose. Mountain pose is one of the most grounding poses you can start with. And it is also the main one that most standing asanas poses are going to transition in and out of. But to begin with, you want to ground down and root. So pick those pads of your feet up and then really push them into the ground. If you feel like you're losing your balance or your weight shifting, that's okay. And then this is where you really find your sense of self, sense of posture. So if there was any other asana I would have everybody do every day, it would be mountain pose. Mountain pose will correct your posture because mountain pose is also called Tadasana. So if you hear me use those words interchangeably, you'll know why. So Tadasana is the anatomical position. The anatomical position is the position that we're supposed to be in at all times for optimal results. So, I want you to get ready. Let's take 4 breaths here, okay? And yoga breathing is only through the nose. It's our 4th breath. On your exhale, so I'm going to turn sideways now. On an exhale, we're going to raise our hands up high into an upward salute, palms facing each other. We're still going to be in our Tadasana stance. If you want to give a little look up or give a little back bend, because falling backwards. I like to give myself a little back bend because it feels good. And then I'm going to take an inhale. And I'm just going to fold it down. So right now I'm just doing a forward fold. And as you can see, my legs are bent and my tummy is touching my thighs. And the reason that is because I cannot straight-legged touch my head to my thighs, to my knees. So to maintain my neutrality, I will make small variations. So from here, I want you to take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale into a half lift. So a half lift, you can either come up to your shoulder, to your shins, straighten out your legs if they were bent, and just lift the torso up at the hips. If you need to come up here to hold on, that's fine. If you need to even come up here, that's fine. But then we're going to inhale. Exhale back down into your forward fold. I love forward fold. This is also where your block will come in handy. If you want to use your block for your forward fold, you can. Because we are going to now put our hands down. We're going to take our left foot and we're going to put it back into a runner's lunge. If you have to walk your foot up, you can. So now you're in a runner's lunge. And this is fine if you need to use your blocks or if you need to use something else. You can use anything to help you modify or to help you stay in correct alignment. You see, I don't want my knee over my ankle. So you're going to take an inhale. And on that inhale, you're going to come up. And we're going to come back down. There you go. On your next inhale, we're going to shift our back foot to a 45-degree angle. Okay? Just the back foot. We're going to walk our other foot out to the side. Where they're going to rise up. You can make it as long as short. This is warrior one. So you're going to want your hips straight, facing the front of your mat. You're going to inhale as you're coming up. You can even look up as you're doing this to give yourself a little bit of a balance tester, or you can stay looking forward, or you can bend that front knee even more, making it as if a little harder. Take a deep breath, inhale, exhale down. I like to windmill my arms. We're gonna downward dog, we're gonna plank it. So as you can see, I'm in a high plank. So, I'm used to but they want you fully extended for yoga. Because we're gonna then take an inhale, exhale into chaturanga. We're then going to inhale and exhale into upward dog. We're then going to inhale, exhale, curl your toes, throw your sits bones high into the air. Now here, downward dog can be problematic for some people. If you are not doing it correctly or have not had instruction on it, it can hurt you, and it can hurt your scapula. It can tear a rotator cuff. So let's not do that today, okay? So make sure, if you can see my fingers, make sure that your hands are nice and splayed, and each pad of your hand, lift them up if you need to, is on the mat, okay? Make sure you're shoulder width apart. So whenever you come up, your head is hanging nicely between your biceps. Then you're going to make sure that your triceps are turned out because you want your scapulas protracted, which means you want your back lengthened, okay? Because it could really hurt. Yeah. So now you're just hanging out. If you have your eyes open, look at whatever is between your thighs. So some people aren't this flexible who can actually put their feet on the ground. So if you need to be on your tippy toes, that's fine. If you need to bring your feet closer and bend your knees and put your tummy to your thighs, that's okay too. The only thing I don't want you to do is keep your spine out of alignment. And I don't want you to overextend or do anything else. So then we're going to take a deep breath. And we're going to come down on our knees. Our pants fall off into a nice child's pose. Into a nice Savasana. We're going to take a deep breath. Come up, come back up, and walk towards the front of your mat. You're going to stay in forward fold. Inhale up. Tadasana with the upward salute, with the back bend if you want it. You're then going to inhale and exhale down into a forward fold again. Now we're going to half lift. And then with that half lift, we're going to put our hands on the ground. We're going to put the other foot out that we did not. And we're going to do our runner's lunge. So, here's our runner's lunge. You want to make it a little harder. Come up with that runner's lunge. You want to make it harder? Make it a crescent, a high lunge crescent. We're then going to swing our arms down, and we're going to get ready to set up for warrior one on this side. So it's going to be at a 45-degree angle with your back foot. We're going to put our other foot out here to the side. And on an inhale, we're going to rise up, bend that front knee. You can look up if you want, making sure that my alignment is in good space. You can look forward. So wherever your gaze is going, that is called your drashti. So find your drashti. My drashti right now is just right in front of me. It's a little clock. Inhale, exhale down. I'm a windmiller. And into plank. Now that we're in plank, we're going to inhale, exhale into chaturanga. Chaturanga, we're going to inhale, exhale down into up dog. Put your feet flat. Inhale, exhale, curl your toes up and back into downward dog. Downward dog is my resting spot. It's the place where I like to be. Okay, so come on down to your knees. And now what we're going to do is actually start the actual Yin Yoga. So what I want you to do is come and get flat down on your mat. Okay? Tummy on the mat. You can come up. I want you to take your right arm, put it underneath your left. I want you to take your left arm, put it as far as you can to the other side. I want you to curl your toes under and then rock your way up. And this is where it comes in handy to have a blanket or a bolster, because so you don't feel like you're doing anything, you're strangling yourself. So this is an intense shoulder stretch. We're going to be here for 4 minutes. Well, y'all are going to be here for 4 minutes. I'm going to time us. No, I'm not. Okay. So 32. So with Yin Yoga, since you are in the asanas for an extended length of time, because we all know that it takes at least 90 seconds to actually begin the stretch of a muscle. It gives you time to think. See, I'm finally starting to feel that stretch where I'm needing it. And it took 2 minutes. You'll probably feel your fingers going to sleep. That's okay. If they do, move them around. It's okay to move them around. You don't have to stay perfectly still. You can adjust, readjust. The point of Yin Yoga is to start light and end in a deeper stretch. And now remember, every inhale you take rushes oxygen through your body. Every exhale that you take is going to elongate and help that muscle relax. All right, so now, see, I can really, really feel it. I don't know if y'all have watched or have been able to see that shoulder. So now I'm going to try to slowly unfurl. And as I do, I'm just going to take a nice little siesta for a minute. And I'm going to need to move my mat a little bit for this next one. So we're going to spend about a minute right here. Everybody's shoulders need some of that intense stretching. But what we're going to do now is we're going to work on our other shoulder. So this is called the folded wing. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our left arm out behind us. We're going to roll over to the side. Now, you're probably going to feel this in your lower back, and you're going to get however you need to get to be comfortable. So like I have to put a bolster there. And then I'm going to take this arm and put it behind my back. And now I'm here for 4 minutes. You can have that hand turned over, or you can have that hand on the floor. You can have your top leg up. You can have your top leg bent. You can have your bottom leg bent and your front leg up, which is now where I have finally gotten after about a minute. Like I said, you're in these asanas for quite a long time. It gives you time to think. It gives you time to reset. It gives you time to practice your breathing techniques. See, my fingers are going to sleep. Sometimes thoughts come up. Let them come up. Let whatever thought you need come up and look at it. See why that thought popped into your head at that moment. And then move on. I can't see the clock. I love Yin Yoga so much, I'm relaxed. I'm sorry. We got 1 more minute. I'm going to see if I can make my stretch a little deeper by moving my hips up a little bit more. For that last minute. And my arm in the back is on the ground. Oh. So slowly, slowly, slowly come out. Roll. Just roll right back over. Look at that. Take just about 5 breaths here. All right, now that you've taken your breath, I want you to go back to our shoulder stretch. So now we're going to put our left arm under the right arm, and the right arm is going to go out. We're then going to curl our toes. Oh, I'm sorry, other direction. We're then going to put our right arm underneath. No, other. Left arm underneath, right arm out. Curl your toes, walk yourself forward. And now we're here for 4 minutes. See, I can definitely feel the shoulder more. It didn't want me to do this. I said, wait. Use your block. This one won't let me. Oh, there it goes. Practice your breathing. I feel like I can get a little better stretch. I'm going to re-curl my toes. I'm going to walk up a little bit more. Remember, this is to elevate your mood. This is to make you feel better. This is to help your joints. If your fingers are falling asleep again, move them around. Slow, 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 rock it, and then slowly unfurl. Oh. That one's a beastie, isn't it? Oh, see, my arms just want to go. Nope, I'm a noodle. Stay here for about 5 breaths while I fix my pants for the 4 billionth time. Ladies, if I have any ladies watching, if I have anybody watching, please point me in the direction of good leggings that don't roll down. Now that we've taken our breaths, let's remove our block or whatever you had there, or if you didn't have anything there.
Now we're going to put our right arm out, and you can have the arm up or you can have the arm down. It's whatever you like. We're going to roll, reset, put that arm straight out behind you. This side's much easier for me to do to start with, but I do like to have a block for my neck. This one I can usually turn my arm down. Four minutes. As you can see, I wobble a lot and I'm trying to get my perfect stretch in, which this is not a perfect stretch for me. I have very tight shoulders. As a matter of fact, my other instructors at massage school would be very disappointed to see my technique. And my very, very, very tight psoas. We got 2 more minutes here. So if you want to try to see if you can get a deeper one, you can. If you want to roll your hand over, you can try. I'm going to try. Oh, Lord. Oh. Yep, that one made me go down on that side. So remember, you are not supposed to feel any pain while you're doing yoga. It's okay to be uncomfortable, but it's not okay to be in pain. And everybody's yoga journey is different. So don't look at someone else in your class or in your session. Don't look at your instructor. Don't look at Instagram. Because I will never be an Instagram yoga model. If anyone is interested in seeing, I'm going to give a shout out to the Naked Yogi. If you're starting to feel anything in your elbow, you can bend it if you need to. This elbow doesn't like to be extended for long because it was broken. So sometimes I'll come up the last minute and just grab and pull this shoulder back. And it's just this side that I need to do that with. And then I'm going to slowly, unfurl. Yes, I think that's my favorite word is unfurl. How are y'all doing out there in a Zoom and Facebook land? Yeah? So what we've been doing is working up to our peak pose. Our peak pose is going to be a Sphinx or a Cobra. This is for your back bend. This is where you're going to feel this in your lower back. You're going to feel this in your shoulders. Make sure you modify if you need to. Make sure you don't try to do a deeper back bend than what you want. And you know what? If you are comfortable right here the whole time, that is fine. I know you can't see my feet, unfortunately, but they are laying flat on the ground, okay? So with Cobra, let's see, 47, I want us to start out at just a low Cobra for just a minute. Make sure you find your space. Put those fingers in. And when you're ready, let's go up a little higher. Or come up onto your forearms. Have your forearms in front of you. That's okay. You can also put your arms on a block if you want to go a little higher. So see, this is where I like to be. Usually I have 2 blocks though. So I really want you to feel the stretch of the belly. The belly is getting stretched, and if you were actually doing full-on Cobra, make sure that your hands are positioned nicely. Make sure they are shoulder width apart. Make sure you are shoulder over elbow over wrist, and that you have just a slight crease in that. Your feet, the top of your feet are on top of the floor. And now you can go narrow or you can go wide. The one thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you to break. I don't want you to externally rotate and drop your shoulders. I want you to keep those biceps rotated inwards. And do that beautiful back bend. Stretch those bellies. Stretch those collarbones. Open those up. If you feel like you need to come out of the pose, slowly lower yourself down into a lower position, or come back to your block if you need to. We only got 1 more minute for that anyway, because you can really still feel a beautiful stretch in that abdomen, stretching that psoas. You can also rest your head down. This is a Yin class, so it means nothing happens fast.
As you can see, I just got really tired. Our time is up for that. So if you want, if you have made it, you've gone to the full cobra. Take you a deep breath. Really push those your pelvic, let it just fall. Make sure your biceps are internally rotated and really feel that in your lower back. Now just lower yourself down for a minute. Oh yeah. I want you to come up into a tabletop position for a second, and then back down into Savasana. So this is child's pose, and it's also called Savasana. One of the things that are best about it is you can also do it wide, which is what I like, honestly. And as you can feel, all that tension that you just had from that back bend is now starting to release. Anytime you do a back bend or a muscle group, you always do the opposing muscle group. Oh, and yes, you do have 4 minutes here. I know a lot of people do Savasana like this because they've been taught that way, but the traditional Ashtanga version is arms at the side. Now, child's position promotes relaxation, it promotes digestion, it promotes stretching of the lower back. If you go into a wide child and you put your hands all the way, you put your head all the way down, chest all the way down, it promotes even more stretching. Make sure your big toes are touching if you do. This definitely is one of the most relaxing asanas. So on your next breath, bring your arms forward, and you're slowly going to raise up. Oh man, I did not want to get up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to slowly come into Dandasana. So Dandasana is staff pose. And that just means you're like a staff, tall and straight. Shoulders right there, your hands right by your hips, shoulders back. And then you're going to scooch down just a little. Don't you love my technical yoga term, scooch? And roll back. If you can roll back slowly, you can feel each of the vertebrae kind of elongating. It's amazing. If you're not allowed to do that and you can't do that, go ahead and try to lay on your back the best way that you know how, and that's okay. So keep your knees bent at this time. We're going to bring both knees up. Now, I can close my knees and put them together and hold them. Some people cannot, and that's fine. But now we're just going to kind of rock back and forth in little circles. And these little circles
is like a nice little lower sacral and back massage. If you go back and forth, it's pretty good too. Now we're going to put both knees down. Put both feet on the floor. Keep your knees there. Make sure your lower back is pressed into your mat. Your belly button is squeezing into your, down into your thighs. Take your right knee, bring it up to you. Put your left leg down. Oh. And then want you to put your right arm out. And I want you to twist to the left. Now, if you look to the right with your hand on your knee, if you look to the right, it will give you a very intense stretch. If you look to the left, you will get a very less intense stretch. Just take 2 breaths here. And then come back to the middle. Put that arm back up here. Bring your other knee back up. Give yourself a little back massage again. Just by the little roll. Now I want you to do the same thing. I want you to put your right leg down. Bring this leg up, give it a little stretch to you. I then want you to put your left arm out. I want you to put your right arm on your left knee and twist to the right. Now remember what I said, if you look to the left, you get a deeper stretch. If you look to the right, you get a lesser stretch. So I am looking to the right, just because I want a little bit of deeper of a stretch. I need that little back bend there. Oh. Slowly come back up, grab your knee, come back to the middle, put that foot down, bring your other foot back up. Take a couple of breaths. My mouth is so dry, I wish I had a drink from my water bottle. So now I want you to do a bridge. So since we did the back bend, which was your cobra, I want you to do your bridge. Now when you think about doing a bridge, I want you to bring your knee, your ankles as close to your buttocks as you can. And I just want you to lift your hips up. If you need to spread your knees a little wider, you can. If you need to be supported, that's fine too. So you can do a supported back bridge. This is just a counter pose to your cobra. If you can and you want to, put your arms underneath you. Take a couple of breaths. Come back down. Push your back, push your lower back and squeeze that tummy so that way your back is touching the mat. We're going to do it one more time. Ready? Up we go. Put your arms underneath you if you can. And back down we go. There we go. Now, I want you to bring your right leg up and put it across your left knee. And here, I just want you to give it a little push. This is kind of a hip opener. And then we'll come up, kiss your ankle, wrap your arms underneath your left knee, by going underneath the right and come back down. And you should feel that stretch all along your hamstrings up into your glutes. This is a very, very good, this is a figure 4. It is a laying down or a reclined pigeon. And it's wonderful for people who can't get into other positions or other stances. So now just go ahead and take those legs down, put that foot down. Put your right foot down. Bring that left foot up, put it over your right foot, and just kind of work it out a little bit. I have a pretty intense lordosis, so I'm using a pretty thick mat. Lordosis, my lumbar spine actually has a dip in it because I have a pelvic tilt. So I have it's an anterior pelvic tilt. So my butt kind of goes under. So it's made me have a little bit of a sway back. And that is just from having super poor posture. The majority, now let's go bring that up and bring that over. You know, the majority of our lower back pain is poor posture. So, oh gosh, I'm so feeling that. So if you could practice Savasana just every day for 5 minutes, try to practice your Tadasana. Try to practice being in an anatomical position. If you want a deeper stretch, go ahead and bring that leg closer to you. Oh, my glutes are screaming. All right, now come down, put that foot down, and then put that foot down. Now, go ahead and put both of those of your feet together. This is called just reclined goddess or just reclined pose, whatever you want to do. And see, this is where you can really tell that I have a lordosis. I just put my whole arm through my back, through my lumbar side, my back. And you're not supposed to be able to do that. And that's with me actually trying to push down into the deal. So for me to do this pose, have to put my hands right at my, here we go, right at my lumbar area to support it. Because I don't want to hurt myself, but I want gravity to start working on my hips. But I don't want to mess it up with my lordosis. Let's see if I can push it into the ground a little bit more. So if you're noticing, whenever I'm pushing into the ground, my legs start coming up a little bit. But when I relax, my gravity works, my legs go down, and my lordosis gets worse. So take a few breaths. Now bring your legs up and do your arms, and it's time for Savasana. So Savasana, oh, you can't see my face. So Savasana is like the best part of yoga. That is, Savasana relates to corpse pose. So we're just going to lay down. Put your hands out. Can you see my face now? Okay. This is where your blanket comes in handy. You get to put your little blankie on. Get all covered up. Your instructor does this for you, by the way. So if we have one-on-one practices, I'll do it for you.
I have, once again, my Lord says, oh. And this is where you do your full body scan. You wiggle, that's too high for me. You wiggle your toes to make sure that they're relaxed. You wiggle your shins, make sure they're relaxed. You feel your thighs, make sure they're relaxed. You're just looking to see if you have any tension anywhere. You can always put your hands on your belly so you can feel that air coming in. Put your hand on your heart. Feel that expansion in the chest. Make sure that you're practicing a soft face. You're softening your face. You're unfurling your eyebrows. You are taking the roof of your tongue off and setting it down. You're unloosening your jaw. Wiggling your fingers. You can put your arms down if you want. Savasana is like nap time. You can roll your head either way. It's your Savasana. Normally, for me, I only stay in Savasana for 5 minutes. And that's because if I stay any longer, I'll go to sleep. And I have things to do. So the whole time you're here, just be doing your body scan. If you feel yourself tightening up somewhere, loosen it. If you feel your tongue being drawn back to the roof of your mouth, put it back down. If you feel your jaw clenching, open it a little. Practice your breathing here. When you get ready to come out of Savasana, this is one of the ones that can cause you to have a little bit of orthostatic hypotension, so you can get a little dizzy. I want you to bring your knees up. And I want you to just kind of scooch your hips to one side, scoot your shoulders to one side. So you just kind of roll over. Just sit here for just a couple breaths. Use your opposite arm and lift yourself up. Slow, slow, slow. So you say, I'm so sleepy, I'm ready. It's nap time now. So, I only went 10 minutes over. That's not too bad. I'm going to scooch up so I can see y'all because I can't see anyone. I hope y'all had a great time. I hope y'all learned some stuff. And if you're still in Savasana, stay there for as long as you want because it's beautiful. I unfortunately have to bail out. So I'm going to try to get home before the streets get too frozen. And I live kind of far away. I will be having another yoga session on, I think, Tuesday. It's going to be going over Sun Salutation B. and we're going to break it down into bits and pieces like I did with Sun Salutation A. If you would like a copy of Sun Salutation A, just let me know. It was recorded on Zoom. I forgot to hit the record button today, so sorry. I will see y'all on Monday. So, namaste. The light in me recognizes the light in you. All right? So, have a great weekend and be very, very safe. Okay? I'll see y'all later on the flip side. Bye, y'all. Facebook land, my contacts from Savasana has gotten very, there you go. Bye, y'all.